首先，以热烈的掌声欢迎桂从友。大是桂从友。Next, I'd like to give an honorable mention to Economic and Commercial Counselor from the Chinese Embassy here in Stockholm, Mr. Han Xiaodong. Han Xiaodong, please give him a warm welcome. 下面热烈欢迎中国驻瑞典大使馆商务参赞韩晓东。韩晓东两遍啊。哪儿了？怎么？Next, we'd like to give a special welcome to Member of Swedish Parliament, Mr. Kent Härstedt. Kent Härstedt. 下面我们热烈欢迎瑞典国会议员 Kent Härstedt 先生。Next, we'd like to give a special welcome to Swedavia Group's CEO, Mr. Jonas Abrahamsson. And after that, we'd like to give a special welcome to the Director of Stockholm Arlanda Airport, Mr. Peder Grunditz. Thank you for being with us here. Next, but not least, we'd like to give a special welcome to our very own General Manager at Air China's Stockholm office, Mr. Jason Zhu. Okay, now we'd like to welcome someone very special to the front, Mr. Ambassador, His Excellency, Mr. Gui Cong-you, to give us a speech. Welcome him, thank you.
1988年8月25号，国航开通北京斯德哥尔摩航线，为中瑞两国各领域的友好交往插上了翅膀，极大地便利了双方人员往来，拉近了两国人民之间的友好感情。30年来，国航见证了中瑞关系的快速发展，也为两国各领域友好交流合作做出了重要贡献。
On 25th August 1988, Air China opened its direct flight from Beijing to Stockholm, making it possible for the Chinese-Swedish exchanges and cooperation to fly high. The direct flights greatly facilitated personnel exchanges between the two countries and brought closer friendship between the two peoples. In the last 30 years, Air China has witnessed the rapid progress of the Sweden-China relations and made important contributions in various fields between the two sides.
我要特别感谢国航斯德哥尔摩营业部的全体同仁，为北京斯德哥尔摩航线30年稳定、安全、高效运营所付出的辛勤努力，也要特别感谢瑞典政府有关部门、机场管理机构、阿兰达机场等瑞方合作伙伴和朋友们长期以来对国航给予的支持和协助。
Especially, I would like to thank all the staff at the Air China Stockholm office for their hard work, which have led to a 30 years stable, safe, and efficient operation of the Beijing-Stockholm routes. Also, my gratitude goes to the Swedish governmental agencies, the Swedavia Group, and Arlanda Airport, as well as other Swedish partners and friends for their long-term support and assistance to Air China.
习近平主席提出的"一带一路"倡议顺应世界多极化、经济全球化、文化多样化、社会先进化潮流，受到100多个国家和国际组织的热烈欢迎和支持。越来越多的国家和国际组织参与到"一带一路"建设中来，共享"一带一路"合作的红利。
The Belt and Road Initiative proposed by President Xi Jinping embraces the trend towards a multipolar world, economic globalization, cultural diversity, and greater IT application, and has been warmly welcomed and supported by more than 100 countries and international organizations all over the world. More and more of them has participated in the building of the Belt and Roads, generating and sharing its benefits altogether.
260多年前，以哥德堡号为代表的瑞典山队远航中国，开启了中瑞海上丝绸之路合作。国航北京斯德哥尔摩航线成功运行30年，为扩大中瑞及中欧丝绸合作提供了良好的基础和条件。近年来，国航顺应“一带一路”建设的大趋势，不断加大投入，现已成为中欧间航空市场最大的承运人。
260 years ago, the Swedish merchant fleet, such as the Gothenburg ship, sailed to China and set out the maritime Silk Road between China and Sweden. Nowadays, the 30 years successful operation of Air China's Beijing-Stockholm route has provided us with a solid foundation and the favorable conditions to enlarge the new Silk Road cooperation between China and Sweden, even Europe. In recent years, Air China responded actively to the Belt and Road initiative and consistently expanded its transport capacity, all the way to be the biggest player in the aviation market between China and Europe.
2017年，北京斯德哥尔摩航线共直飞605班，有效匹配了日益增长的两国人员往来和各领域友好合作需求，在中瑞中欧之间。在中瑞、中国、北欧之间架起了一座更紧密、更便捷、更快捷的交通走廊，成为两国和两国人民之间牢固的纽带。
In 2017, the Beijing-Stockholm route carried out 605 flights, which perfectly met the increasing demand from the both sides for different exchanges and cooperation. Through establishing a more convenient and efficient airborne corridor between China and Nordic region, Air China's direct flight has become a strong link between the two countries and their peoples.
如今，新的合作机遇使国航光辉的历史孕育着更大的希望。衷心希望国航、斯德哥尔摩营业部和瑞方朋友们更紧密地开展合作，共同迎接新的机遇，创造更大成功和新的辉煌。
Next, I'd like to welcome another special guest from the Swedish Parliament, Mr. Kent Härstedt. Welcome.
Dear Ambassador, dear guests, I guess I'm not here just because I'm a Swedish member of parliament. I'm also a long-term friend of China, and I think maybe that's why the main reason why I'm here. I started to travel to China very long time ago, and the first time I went to China I actually took the train, and I must say that flights are a little bit faster. I have been working in promoting relations between Sweden and China through all my grown-up life. And I think today the relations between Sweden and China is maybe more important than ever before. And of course, I think that we are gathering today to celebrate 30 years of direct flights between Arlanda and Beijing is something that we all have good reasons to actually be happy about, because connectivity gives opportunities. I mean, that's mainly what this is about. It gives opportunities for meetings between people, but it gives opportunities for business, but it also gives opportunities to greater understanding between two so very different cultures actually, which is the Swedish culture and the Chinese culture. So the meaning of direct flights has a very big meaning in reality and in daily life, I would say. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I want to be part of this celebration, because the meaning of these direct flights and the connectivity has so much potential in itself. Of course, when we look forward, we would like to see more of connectivity between Sweden and China. We hope for more direct flights to different destinations in China, because I think China is, when I studied Chinese at the university and studied Chinese history, they said that China is so big, so if you would put China on top of Europe, you will go from the British Islands to the Ural Mountains and from the northern part of Europe to the north of Africa. So actually, China is so big, so it's actually bigger than the whole continent of Europe. So of course the diversity in China is something that we also have to learn about. 1.4 or maybe, I don't know, maybe today 1.5 billion Chinese people is of course also a diverse experience. So we cannot just focus on going to Beijing or Shanghai. We need to see other beautiful parts of China. I myself have had almost a religious experience when I have gone to Dali in the south of China, in the foot of Himalaya mountains, almost so beautiful that you could cry. Such a serene and nice, beautiful areas of China. So I remember when I was accepted to the East and Southeast Asia program in Lund University, they said in the paper that if you go to China, if you look, you can always find what you're looking for in some place in China. So you really have to take the opportunity to also travel within China, not just to one or two destinations in China. I know Mr. Jason, who is the manager here for Air China, I congratulated him the other year because he had a record number of travelers to fly to China and coming to Stockholm. And I said, then you must get promotion from Beijing, I said. Unfortunately, he said, every destination in Europe have record numbers nowadays. So that is also a sign of how China is changing. People are getting more and more curious and have the money in their pockets to be able to travel. So I think for us who have followed China for a few decades, we can really see the revolution in China in that sense, that they are actually traveling more than ever before. And of course, the way they are traveling will also mean that they will also ask for new destinations, also within Sweden and within the Nordic countries and so. So there's a good potential in this direction as well. So, or maybe very, very big potential in this direction. So we need to continue to attract more Chinese to come to our little beautiful corner of Europe. And I think we have all reasons to do that. Let me just say a few words. Of course, our relation with China is bigger than just connectivity and tourism. And we are, even though the aviation business is many times connected also with challenges when it comes to environmental issues. But we know that all the time there's new evolution and new improvements that is making even this sector more and more clean and energy efficient. But actually that sector is one of the areas where Sweden and China is cooperating a lot. We are signing several agreements between Sweden and China. Just this last year, several of them have happened, and that's an area where you will see more of business and exchange between Sweden and China in the coming years. While China today is actually one of the leading countries in trying to take leadership when it comes to fighting pollution. We know there is challenges in China today, but I think maybe in 10 years' time, maybe China will be one of the top countries in working with green technologies and environmentally friendly cities, etc. So we have a lot of delegations coming to Sweden from China to look for our experience and how we have been able to work so effectively in this area. And we can, breathe fresh air, and we can go to beautiful lakes, and we really have a thinking here which I think can inspire our friends in China. So that's one area where we have a lot to do. Also in the trade sector, a lot of things are happening. We are improving and we are breaking records after record when it comes to trade, and there is more potential even also in that sector. And even though I'm a politician, I will not speak too long. I will try to conclude here by saying I think that for us it's a matter of trying to not just be small in our connectivity, but actually use the full potential and the width in our opportunities between the countries. China is today a leader in several areas. Not just have Chinese economy grown to become the second largest in the world and on its way to become the leading economy of the world. It will happen in our lifetime. But they also show leadership in other areas. While some countries are withdrawing from trade agreements and free trade, which we think is so important for the world today, China is actually stepping up their position in world politics and defending both the climate agreements, and they are taking a stand on free trade so our businesses can work closer together and standing up for global agreements. And that is very important for us.
Operation here at Stockholm Arlanda. We at Swedavia are very proud of our long-term friendship and hope for a future as well with good and fruitful cooperation. We are indeed together connecting China and Sweden, and we as airports, airlines and all of you other important partners here in this room, we do connect countries, people, culture and trade markets. We connect people. And for us at Swedavia, this is a very important and instrumental part. Swedavia is a state-owned company operating and developing 10 airports from the very south of Sweden to the very north. And we have a national basic infrastructure of airports under our responsibility. For Swedavia, our main purpose is exactly to enable people to meet. And China has become an increasingly important trading partner for Sweden. Only in 2017, Swedish exports to China grew 27% compared to 2016. Imports grew 7%, and the number of commercial overnight stays by Chinese visitors to Sweden increased with 23% during last year. And with the growth in trade and travel between China and Sweden, there is a great need for access and transport options between the two countries. The link between air connectivity and competitiveness, as well as a successful tourist industry, is widely recognized. Private companies, as well as the Swedish government, are therefore committed to attract further routes to Stockholm Arlanda Airport. This has been a successful endeavor so far for Swedavia, and we have been able to introduce 20 new intercontinental routes to Arlanda since 2013. And in order to welcome Chinese tourists and visitors to Sweden and to help building strong relations between our countries, we have also worked closely with Air China to make Stockholm Arlanda a Chinese-friendly airport. We now have information signs in Chinese. We have a modified website. Union Pay is accepted at Stockholm Arlanda, and Stockholm Arlanda is working to ensure that passengers who transit can fill their thermoses with hot water. And just a few days ago, Visit Stockholm, who are responsible for promoting and developing Stockholm as a business and tourist destination, along with, among others, us, launched a new 3-year plan, a project to make this region China-ready and thus offer Chinese visitors an even better experience in Stockholm and Sweden. All this combined, I think, tells us something important. Relations between China and Sweden will continue to grow stronger in the years ahead. And we will continue to develop the airport to better meet the needs of Chinese travelers, and we hope for at least 30 more years of fruitful cooperation and a long-term friendship with Air China. Once again, congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you for that speech, Mr. Abrahamsson. And finally, we invite our very own Jason Zhu to make a speech from Air China's Stockholm office.
For 30 years ago, that means at the first step of Chinese economic development, Air China decided to open Beijing-Stockholm direct route. Not because that our route was luckily selected. The reason is that Sweden is the first West European country to establish diplomatic relationship with the People's Republic of China. This first step taken by Sweden, China, and Air China has its huge historical meaning and impetus. In 1988, at the very beginning, our Stockholm-Beijing route had only 2 times a week. Now, we have daily flight in the season of spring, summer, and autumn, 5 times per week in winter season. And after Beijing-Stockholm flight, Air China has opened more and more routes to Europe. Now Air China has totally 30 routes from China to Europe, with more than 300 round-trip flights per week, and is the biggest carrier of China-Europe routes. Under the last 30 years, following China's rapid development, Air China has opened a lot of new routes in the whole world. To have more frequencies and more routes are definitely our next step and goal. For a lot of countries, we need to get ready for incoming Chinese tourists. It already increased a lot for the last few years. But that is only the beginning. For the passengers from Nordic countries, we also need to have more flights to China. Because with one stop in Beijing, you will reach more than 185 destinations in Asia and Oceania. 30 years is a long period, and not every day is under the sunshine. We was facing to the different difficulties, such as strikes and volcanic ash cloud happened in Europe, diseases and natural disaster happened in China, etc. But for our passengers, Air China always take its full responsibility. If something happened outside of Nordic countries, we always try our best to get our passengers home as soon as possible. As the foreign airline in Nordic market, we have got lots of competitors, but we take it as a challenge. Better service, safe flying, and comfortable travel are always our business target. And because of our business purpose, meeting passengers first, we have won the trust among our clients, our agents, and business partners. Under 30 years, we have built a cultural and economic bridge between China and Sweden, China and Nordic countries as well. It would not be possible without the contributions from our passengers, agents, and business partners. In the spirit of the Chinese national strategy, One Belt, One Road, let us together to continue keeping this bridge stable. My dear friends, today, together with all my colleagues from the Nordic countries, I will take the opportunity to say thanks to our passengers, our agents, our corporate clients, and our business partners. Thank you for taking Air China as your first travel choice. Thank you for giving Air China your sincere trust and your big support. And today, at this very moment, I would like especially give a big thanks to our friends from Sweden. Thank you for your excellent cooperation under 30 years. It is amazing to work with all of you. Together, we are stronger and we can make everything possible and better. 30 years is only the first step on One Belt, One Road journey. We are looking forward to the next 30 years. My dear friends, let us cheers for another 30 years. Thank you.